Really quick before we jump into the video, the results are in. I got to thank all 13 of my members and supporters for the awesome support. When I did the giveaway, started it like a week ago or something, right? I had 4, I think, members and supporters. Now I'm up to 13. So you guys have been awesome, to say the least. But the results are in. The first winner, is Rarasunai 4896. Congratulations. I will reply to the winning comment. And then the other one is Bring the Pain, who is another a member in this situation. So that's awesome. So I really appreciate the support, guys. I will respond to both of the winning comments. That way you can know which ones were picked for the random one. But without further ado, hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. Really quick video today. There's a patch for Unicorn Overlord. Now, this is probably not going to be until you get the full copy of the game. I don't think this is making any changes to the demo. But when you get the game, there is a day 1 patch. So let's kind of go over it really quick. Shouldn't be too long. Nothing too major. But everything is huge news. So let's get into it. 1, save data from the demo can now be carried over to the main game. That's kind of it's funny. What if they didn't do this day 1 patch? So part of me is like, oh yeah, they're doing a day 1 patch. They care about the balance of the game. This makes me feel like they had no fucking choice but to do a patch. You're telling me you wouldn't? The main selling point of the demo was that you could carry over your save data, and it wasn't possible to do it until this patch. So I don't know if this means this line right here makes me feel like they're not going to regularly do patches. But still, regardless, there we go. That's nice. Make sure you download the patch, otherwise you can't continue your save data. Artwork has been added to the status screen of some characters. Who cares? A new game difficulty level, normal, has been added, and okay, first of all, normal's been added. My understanding here is yeah, here we go. The difficulty level casual found in the demo version is equal to normal. So basically they changed the name of the easiest difficulty from whatever it was, casual, story, something like that, and they made it normal, and then they added a 4th even easier difficulty. But each difficulty level has been adjusted to make it easier to play. Now, this I could read this 2 ways. The most obvious way is I read this and it's saying it basically nerfs all the difficulties. It made the game easier. I could also read this in a way, because I know this is probably translated, and maybe this isn't, this is like a Japanese thing that was then translated. Maybe it means like instead of all the difficulties becoming easier in terms of like the stats on enemies and, lowering them, maybe it instead makes it easier to play, meaning there's just like a different ramping, maybe easier to play means like in the early game, the stats are lower and then it kind of scales up to the exact same spot where it was. Or maybe this could even mean different levels of, it could even be like lowering the costs of things in the shop, economy, basically making that level of it easier. Or it could be increased tutorialization or something like that. So this isn't, if this just means the game is going to be easier on expert difficulty, that kind of is a bummer. It would be a double nerf, which is why I'm a little skeptical. To both make every difficulty easier while at the same time making a easier difficulty mode, I'm like, why are you doing that? You have now 4 difficulties and you added an extra easier difficulty mode. Why bother making all the ones difficulty? You already made it easier to play, because now they can go, so they could already just go to a lower difficulty. There's more options. So I don't really understand if that's where they're going. It makes me skeptical, and it makes me kind of hope that this is either mistranslated or just not quite worded in the way that they mean, not where it's like all stats. But who knows? We'll actually play the game. We'll find out. Then, because this doesn't really preface anything there, it just basically, this is saying that story mode is a new, easier difficulty mode. Now here we've got performance improvements and adjustments. Okay, the performance is incredibly good. I have had 0 issues on Switch. Adjustments, I don't know what that means. Improvements made to some stages. This is cool. I mean, this is just like, maybe there were some stages that were like a little bit too small that you could easily cheese with the cav. You could just start of the fight, immediately rush all the way to them. So that's pretty cool. Besides that, so I assume improvement. It says improvements. It doesn't say, it should say changes because it's not objective that they're making improvements. We might like the old stages more, but it doesn't matter. Point is, this is them continuing to mess with the game a little bit, which is cool. Adjustments made to some item skills. I'm hoping what this means is this either is going to change the functionality of item skills or it's just going to make them say the right things. I think that's what this one down here is. Improvements to UI and various bug fixes. I'm hoping this is more like, hey, there's a lot of mistranslations. Not like, they're not devastating, but like, here's the thing. If there's a mistranslation that says like, on the cavalry thing, it's like, oh, boost the attack of all your cavalry units by whatever, 15%. I'm like, okay, cool, but I don't have any other cavalry, but you know, but if it actually just boosts the attack of all your units in the back row or whatever by 15%, I don't know if that's actually what the cavalry thing does, but I know that there's mistranslations like that between items and skills and stuff, so hopefully they went through and they fixed all that stuff, because that'll change what I use in a gameplay, because there's always you don't knock it till you try it, but if you're trying it and it's not, you don't have all the information, then like, what's the point? And then also if I read something and it sounds bad, then I may not try it. And if it only sounds bad because they've worded it wrong, maybe the hoplite's really good. I'm hoping this means, I hope if they fix the translation is the hoplite actually does a ton of different shit than what it says it does, because the hoplite blows so far. It feels like they're okay, I guess. Improvements made to system performance and stability. I've had no issues with any of this stuff. Just one second. All right, and here in my Discord, there's a couple things here that I noticed that aren't on the patch notes, which is why I thought there'd be more to the patch notes, but it looks like they're making adjustments or adjustments to items and maybe nerfing some characters as well. So Knight's Wild Charge will cost 3 Valor points instead of 2. That's awesome, because it's just like, it's just weird how much stronger Wild Charge is than everything else. However, at the 3-point slot, there's not that many 3 Valor point skills, and that's a fuck ton of Valor points. And that is probably like the only other one that I think is does Elaine have that one that's like super order that gives you all first strike, 20% damage, 20% damage reduction. That's really powerful too. So the 3 Valor points seems to be very strong, and I think Wild Charge belongs there. It was way better than anything else at 2. And the Corvic sword got nerfed to 15 attack. I think they nerfed all of these super swords. Like, they got rid of 5 to 10 attack on all of them. So they're making adjustments to the items. They're making adjustments to this. They're nerfing this stuff. So maybe they wanted to lower the difficulty to compensate for that. I think if you nerf insanely overpowered things like the sword and the charge, it's not like, you don't need to lower the difficulty because of that, honestly. It just makes the really insanely overpowered stuff more in line with the actual power level intended for the game. There we go. That's right. See, I was right, and I was like, I don't see the item notes in the patch nerfs, but patch notes. But so who knows? Maybe this isn't accurate, but I assume that they've got a source, that they're not just pulling it out of their butts. Some people have the game early, from what I'm hearing. On the word on the street is, I'm not going to be playing it even the day it comes out, unless I get it tomorrow, in which case I will. But then on Friday, I just work all day. I'm not going to be playing it. But I'll be playing all day Saturday. We'll be having a lot of fun with that. Anyway, day 1 patch notes, I think it's a good sign. Hopefully we get a couple more patch notes with more balances and more difficulty adjustments, making the game hopefully a little bit harder. That was one of my 5 things I was worried about. I know it's going to get harder as I play the game, but I still hope it's a little bit harder. I want it to kind of beat me up a little bit. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. See you on the flip-flops. Bye.